Hello there, YouTube. Welcome to the inaugural broadcast of this channel. I am your host, Steady Eddie. And if you are a new and recurring viewer of this channel, I would just like to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Help this channel grow. That would be very much appreciated. And alright, let's get into the story. A deleted Biden video sets off crisis as Voice of America. It's a taxpayer-funded outlet is grappling with the fallout from a video post deemed too favorable to the former vice president, setting off recriminations and suspicion amid shakeup. And this is coming from the New York Times, of all places. And it says here, the Voice of America is weighing a suspicion of 4 contractors who were involved in publishing a story and video that was deemed too favorable to Joe Biden's presidential campaign, according to 2 people familiar with the matter. On July 22nd, VOA's Urdu service, which is targeted to Urdu-speaking audiences in Pakistan, India, and around the world, posted content on its website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages about an online event Biden did reaching out to Muslim Americans as he urged them to vote for him in November. Top VOA officials, reviewing the matter after red flags were raised about it externally, found it violated the network's editorial policies and ordered it taken down. In a 2-minute video, subtitled in Urdu and overlaid with music, Biden says, "Your voice is your vote is your voice. Muslim Americans' voices matter. I'll be a president that seeks out and incorporates and listens to the ideas and concerns of Muslim Americans on everyday issues that matter most to our communities. That will include having Muslim American voices as part of my administration." And I will share a link to the video, which will be provided in the description below, as well as the link to this article. The footage, which also includes a brief shot of Rep. Rashida Tlaib, Democrat, Michigan, was clipped liberally from the live stream of Image Action's Million Muslim Votes virtual conference earlier this month, for which Biden provided a video. Image Action is a left-leaning 501c4 group that has endorsed Biden and seeks to mobilize American Muslims to advocate for issues that define who American Muslims are by what they stand for, according to its website. One of those clips included audio from a voiceover narrator. Make no mistake, people, 2020 is our year. Let's dive into it with 2020 vision, the narrator says in the video. You can clearly see that America is fighting for its very soul. The discussion over the fate of the contractors comes amid a politically charged overhaul of taxpayer-funded media outlets, including VOA. Their suspension would represent a less severe punishment than what VOA's new leadership had first contemplated, according to 2 people. Immediate termination. Bill Baum, a longtime VOA veteran and current senior advisor to the acting director, told colleagues earlier this week that VOA wanted to terminate their contracts immediately because the story resembled a campaign ad, was not balanced, and violated VOA's journalism standards. But after the general counsel from VOA's parent organization, the U.S. Agency for Global Media, recommended that VOA merely suspend the 4 contractors instead of firing them, they may end up keeping their jobs after all. The contractors likely will be provided a chance to explain why they shouldn't be fired, according to a person familiar with the internal discussions. In a statement, a VOA spokesperson, Bridget Serchak, said, VOA leadership is conducting a full review of the circumstances surrounding the matter. Corrective actions will be taken once all the facts of the matter have been collected and thoroughly evaluated. Donald Trump and his allies have complained vociferously about the tone of VOA's coverage, including an unusual blast in the White House newsletter. In the case of the Biden video, people outside the USAGM had flagged it to the new CEO, Michael Pack, and raised concerns about the content, according to the person. This video also attracted attention of conservative journalist Sarah Carter, who wrote a story on Monday with the headline, "Voice of America promoted a pro-Biden Muslim political campaign ad, then removed it." She quoted House Freedom Caucus Chair Andy Biggs, Republican Arizona, recalling it outrageous that VOA used its platform to campaign for Biden and demanding an investigation. Pack, a Steve Bannon ally, fired the heads of Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, Radio Free Asia, and other outlets as he started as CEO of the taxpayer-funded media group, moves that drew criticism from both members of parties in Congress. Amanda Bennett, the head of VOA at the time, resigned on his first day in the job. A veteran documentary filmmaker, Pack has defended the shakeup as necessary to help him reform the organization to align more clearly with its original mission. but there are deep suspicions of PAC's true motives within USAGM and along its supporters on Capitol Hill. Unfortunately, he's trying to find one incident and examples he can show that he is improving the content, one of the people said of PAC. A USAGM official said that VOA's language services have long been scrutinized for failing to meet journalistic standards and principles and not adhering to VOA's character. The scrutiny of the Biden video has drawn top VOA officials into close handling of the matter. Officials in the outlet's front office have told colleagues that the Urdu video should have corrected Biden when he referred to the Muslim ban, saying President Trump's 2017 immigration action didn't ban all Muslims from entering the U.S., but only selected Muslim-majority countries, according to a person familiar with the internal discussions. The video also should have noted that the Trump campaign is doing its own outreach to Muslim voters and that some Muslim organizations support Trump's re-election, they said. Top USAGM officials have demanded to know the names of everyone who is involved in the story and asked to interview them, according to one person familiar with the exchanges. On Tuesday, the acting director of VOA, Elez Biberaj, held multiple meetings with PAC's front office and asked by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Diane Kulo, for names of the journalists involved in putting out the story and the full translation of the piece, according to two people familiar with the matter. VOA shared that information with USAGM and promised to improve the editorial process to prevent this type of episode from happening again. Biberaj also proposed disciplinary action against other people involved. On Thursday afternoon, PAC announced an investigation into the incident. In a statement, USAGM said the Biden postings had transgressed into VOA Charter, VOA's Best Practices Guide, VOA's Journalistic Code, and agency standards and principles, and further might have constituted U.S. election interference and a violation of federal law. Wow, that is huge. USAGM staff members who attempted to influence American elections will be held accountable, PAC said. To safeguard our agency's reputation and the integrity of our content, I will continue to ensure the violations of journalistic standards and principles are dealt with swiftly and fairly. This investigation, and indeed every action I have taken since starting my tenure last month, has been to repair USAGM so that, once again, U.S. government international broadcasting advances the American national interests. There's a little dispute that the Urdu content violated VOA's editorial standards, but PAC's involvement has heightened tensions. It seems as if the CEO's office is extremely interested in getting from the other side of the firewall in VOA's activities, the person familiar with the internal discussions said. The source could not recall VOA ever considering firing people based upon one story being imbalanced without a track record of poor performance. It just seems to be so fast and so out of the ordinary, said the person who called it a, quote, witch hunt. And wow, there it is, folks. As I said, I will provide a link to this article and a link to the video in the description, which you can find below. And hopefully we can have some dialogue, talk about this. And it just seems to me, with Democrats so worried about election interference, that this just can't be simply swept under the rug. Think about the last 4 years they spent with the bogus Russia investigation and Russian collusion, Russian meddling that they accused Donald Trump of doing to win his 2016 election against Hillary Clinton. So hopefully the hammer will fall down and we'll get to find out some more information. And if I do come across anything, I will put that in a future video. Until then, I'd like to bid you farewell and remind you to please like, share, subscribe. This is my first webcast, so if you have any recommendations about how I can make it better or things that I can do to make it more enjoyable, more entertainable, please reach out to me personally. I'll be glad to listen to any of your suggestions. Until then, have a good rest of your day and see you later.